he's expected to make his first court appearance in New York in just a few hours. His name is Takeshi Ebisawa. He's a leader of the notorious Yakuza crime syndicate.
Minutes ago, crucial details got leaked about the ultra-rich world of the Yakuza, where tattoos and tailored suits barely scratch the surface. These shadowy titans of Japan wield power and wealth that's almost beyond belief, celebrating with secret rituals and mind-blowing extravagances. Imagine, for a moment, the intense mix of old-world tradition and modern-day billionaire spending sprees on lavish parties and luxury cars. What secrets are they hiding behind those expensive, flashy displays? Tune in as we expose the extreme lifestyles of the Yakuza, where danger and opulence go hand in hand. The rise of economic gangsters in Japan. Let's start by looking at the economic influence of the group. Historically, they've been involved in things like blackmail, gambling, and drug dealing, but over time, they have become much more sophisticated and influential. Nowadays, they are known as kesai Yakuza, which means economic gangsters. They've integrated themselves into Japanese society so deeply that they now control not only illegal activities but also legitimate businesses, financial markets, and even have a say in politics. As we delve deeper into the inner workings of the Yamaguchi-gumi, one question emerges that could shake the very foundation of this formidable syndicate. What if their most closely guarded secret is about to be exposed by one of their own? How did a group once known for small-time street crimes become so embedded in Japan's economy? It all began in the 1970s and 1980s when they shifted their focus to legitimate businesses. By doing so, the groups took control of over 24,000 legal businesses. These weren't just small shops, but included large companies in construction, ports, entertainment, and sports industries. Even street vending was under their control, with each vendor earning roughly $1,000 a day. But how did they turn these businesses into a massive financial empire? One major but often overlooked factor in their operations is labor brokering. They take advantage of society's outcasts, people who are often uneducated and unable to find regular jobs, and offer them cheap labor for construction and other manual jobs. This strategy not only brings in steady money, but also gives them control over a large workforce. Their ability to quickly mobilize thousands of workers for various jobs, both legal and illegal, shows just how strong their influence is. However, their reach goes far beyond labor and small businesses. They are also deeply involved in the entertainment industry, which serves as both a big source of income and a way to appear legitimate. They've invested in around 100 production companies, talent agencies, and film studios, making their financial reach even broader. In addition, they have stakes in professional sports, including boxing, sumo wrestling, and even Western wrestling. This wide range of investments not only brings in a lot of money, but also keeps their presence strong in mainstream society, though often hidden from plain view. But this isn't the most shocking part. The most striking thing about their transformation is how they've managed to break into Japan's financial markets. They now operate much like a giant hedge fund, managing assets worth over $100 billion. This change from street criminals to major players in the global financial world is nothing short of remarkable. With the resources they control, these groups invest money into new businesses, merge with others, buy companies, and enter areas like foreign exchange trading and public stock launches, known as IPOs. Experts now call this the criminal services industry because of their deep involvement. Money laundering is one of the key strategies they use in the financial world. By creating a complicated web of investments in real estate and stocks, they hide their illegal money, making it look like it came from legal sources. This process helps them not only hide the illegal origins of their money, but also strengthen their financial power. This method of cleaning money might be one of the main reasons why their financial empire stays strong. Let's see how deep their power and connections really go. The high stakes of Yakuza betting rings. Their influence goes beyond financial markets. They are also involved in politics, where they have often supported ultra-nationalist right-wing politicians who favor Japan's old systems. In return, these politicians find a helpful partner in them, who have historically provided them with support. For example, when President Dwight D. Eisenhower visited Japan in the 1960s, they helped by providing security. They can also influence voters and remove political opponents when needed. These political ties have allowed them to hold considerable power in Japan's political system. Their political influence gives them access to valuable government contracts, especially for large construction projects like subways and airports. They have even manipulated sports outcomes, from baseball to horse racing, to ensure they benefit financially. Their control extends into various areas of society, including private healthcare, language schools, and entertainment. Their influence seems so deep that it's hard to imagine it ever breaking down. Yet there is always the question of whether this vast network of control might start to weaken one day. At the center of their power is a strict organization based on Japan's cultural values of hierarchy and loyalty. The largest group, the Yamaguchi-gumi, functions like a large corporation with a leader at the top, overseeing 850 different clans. One of their most famous leaders was Kazuo Taoka, often called the Japanese Godfather. Taoka was known for adapting to Japan's changing economy while keeping the old traditions. But it raises the question, can such a strict structure survive the pressures of modern law enforcement and globalization? Their organization relies on the Oyabun-Kobun relationship, where the Oyabun or father figure offers guidance and protection while the Kobun or child figure provides complete loyalty. This family-like bond has helped them survive even in today's highly regulated society. However, the question remains, what will happen if this loyalty is challenged by external or internal pressures? In 1981, when Kazuo Taoka died, the Yaguchi-gumi group was making more than $460 million every year. Today, that would be worth more than $1,300 million. A regular Yakuza member earned about $27,000 per year, middle managers earned around $130,000, and the top bosses took home about $400,000 annually. The larger the group, the more money flowed upwards through the ranks. But this kind of wealth came with its own risks. The more money they made, the more attention they attracted, which could lead to problems for the group. The Yakuza have survived for so long because they adapted to economic changes, invested in legitimate businesses, and even had political connections. They remain one of the most complex and long-lasting criminal organizations in the world. Their strong ties to Japan's economy and society raise an important question. Can they ever be completely dismantled, or will they continue to be a powerful force in Japan and beyond? Their wealth allowed them to live luxurious lives, but they kept it discreet to avoid unnecessary attention. They owned expensive cars with dark-tinted windows hiding their identities. It was best not to get involved with them, as their brutal customs could result in severe punishment, even costing a person a finger. Their love for luxury went beyond cars. They were known for their expensive homes in central Tokyo and designer clothing that rivaled the wardrobes of top executives. But their real passion was cars. For them, cars represented power, wealth, and status. Their obsession with cars can be traced back to the period after World War II. Japan, recovering and rebuilding, looked to the West for symbols of success. The Cadillac became a favorite among them, representing wealth and dominance. These American cars were more than just vehicles. They were symbols of a prosperous, resurgent Japan. Now watch how their love for luxury cars defines their status. Japan's shift to the bulletproof Alphard. But the Cadillac had its drawbacks. It was built for wide American roads, not the narrow streets of Tokyo. Driving a Cadillac through crowded areas was difficult and not practical for quick getaways. Over time, they turned their attention to a new luxury car, the Toyota Century. This car was Japan's top luxury vehicle, combining the elegance of a Rolls-Royce with the reliability of a Toyota. It quickly became the preferred choice not only for their bosses, but also for Japan's prime ministers and top business leaders, symbolizing both Japanese craftsmanship and individual success. Influential leaders and top executives played a big role in changing how people saw Japanese luxury goods, using them to show off the country's growing economic power. These items, known for their simple elegance and top-notch craftsmanship, quickly became symbols of wealth and status, especially among the powerful. A great example of this is the Toyota Century. It wasn't just a car, it was a carefully crafted work of art. With details like wool seats and a hand-painted finish, the Century was more than a way to get around. It was like a moving palace for them. When Japan's economy took off in the 1980s, their taste for luxury grew. This was the era when the Mercedes-Benz S-Class became their go-to vehicle. It was much more than just transportation. With its powerful engine, the S-Class had the speed and agility that fit their fast-paced and sometimes dangerous lifestyle. It wasn't just a car, it was a command center on wheels, blending power, prestige, and performance. Its rich interiors and cutting-edge technology made it the perfect place for handling business while on the road. But things didn't stay the same. Over time, many members swapped their sleek sedans for something less flashy, a minivan. The Toyota Alphard, in particular, became their new favorite. At first glance, it looked like any other minivan, but it was packed with luxury inside. It had enough room to add bulletproof armor without losing any comfort. It combined safety and luxury, making it the top choice for those who wanted to stay protected and still enjoy a high-end experience. This shift from fancy sedans to minivans also reflected a change in how they operated. They went from being aggressive to more strategic. The Alphard, with its low-key yet luxurious look, fit perfectly with this new image. It allowed them to move around without drawing attention, but still gave them the comfort of a top-tier sedan. But this wasn't the end of their love for luxury cars. They are known for customizing their vehicles to make them stand out. For them, a car isn't just a way to get from point A to point B, it's a personal statement. They don't hold back when it comes to upgrades, adding everything from bulletproofing to special paint jobs. Features like reinforced armor and high-tech security systems make each car a unique masterpiece, showing off their power and control in a bold way. Their love for luxury cars doesn't stop at their personal rides. In Japan's nightlife, high-end clubs and exclusive bars are where they show off their fancy vehicles. They arrive in style, making a grand entrance that lets everyone know who's in charge. These spots are not just for fun, they also serve as places where they do business, form alliances, and make deals in a high-energy, dynamic setting. Windows shattered. As we explore how Japanese rogue warriors transformed into one of the most respected and feared groups in the criminal world, it's interesting to see how even their choice of vehicles became a big part of their identity. Picture a sleek black S-Class Mercedes pulling up to the entrance of an upscale nightclub in Tokyo. The doors open and a boss steps out with his close associates. Every person nearby turns to look, and conversations pause for a moment. This isn't just about making an entrance, it's a calculated show of power and control. Discover how their choice of cars shows their power and past. Power and prestige in the fast lane. For them, luxury cars are not just about looking good. These cars are chosen carefully to represent strength, authority, and a sense of being untouchable. In the complex social hierarchy of the group, the kind of car someone drives says a lot about their position and influence within the group. These choices are not just for show. They are part of a bigger strategy shaping how they are viewed both inside and outside the organization. But there's more to it than just status. In a world where alliances shift and enemies can appear suddenly, these expensive cars also stand for something more lasting: legacy. Empires may crumble, but a well-kept luxury car can last, becoming a rolling reminder of power that once ruled the streets. Now let's take a step back and look at where they came from. Their story begins in 17th century Japan, a time when society was sharply divided. Samurai, who followed a strict code of honor, suddenly found themselves without masters or purpose as times changed. Some of these samurai, rather than fading into history, chose a life of crime. These masterless samurai, called ronin, adopted the bold and rebellious lifestyle of the kabuki mono, dressing in bright, elaborate clothes and openly defying social norms. But this wasn't the worst part. As Japan moved toward unity under the Tokugawa shogunate, these wild figures took on new roles and slowly transformed into more organized groups. Two of the most well-known groups were the Bakudo, who ran illegal gambling operations, and the Takiya, wandering peddlers who worked at markets and festivals. What started as small-time crime would eventually build the foundation for the powerful Yakuza we know today. Over time, these groups developed complex hierarchies that were very similar to the old samurai clans many of their members came from. As Japan's government struggled to maintain order, these criminal groups filled the gap, taking control of black markets and offering protection services. And this wasn't the kind of protection you could refuse without serious consequences. Through these methods, the Bakudo and Takiya grew from small-time criminals into a large and organized crime network, adapting and surviving over the centuries to become the feared group we recognize now. As the 1800s moved forward, gambling circles and tea houses in Japan grew from small groups of gamblers and merchants into powerful criminal organizations. These groups started using extortion, forcing local businesses and people to pay for protection. This allowed them to gain a lot of money and influence. Imagine being a small shop owner in Edo, now Tokyo, and feeling like you had no choice but to pay these criminals to keep your business safe. It was an offer that seemed too dangerous to turn down. By the late 1800s, when Japan began to open up to Western ideas, these groups came together to form what we now know as the Yakuza. They didn't just survive, they thrived. During the 1900s, their power grew even more. They expanded their criminal activities, including not just gambling, but also drugs, human trafficking, extortion, and loan sharking. They didn't limit themselves to illegal businesses either. They moved into legitimate industries like construction, real estate, and entertainment. These businesses were often used to launder money and help grow their criminal networks. In a way, you could think of them as having a well-rounded business portfolio. But they were not just known for their illegal activities. The way they were organized and their strict code of conduct made them stand out in the world of organized crime. They were set up in a way that was similar to the old samurai clans. At the top was the oyabun, or boss, who acted like a father figure to his kobun, or subordinates. This relationship was guided by a code called ninko, which focused on loyalty and obedience. The kobun had to defend their boss's honor, even if it meant risking their lives, a twisted version of the loyalty once shown by samurai to their lords. See how they cope with new laws and shifting power? A tale of crime, tradition, and turbulence. This strong focus on loyalty and their own version of chivalry has given them a unique place in Japanese society. Some even see them as protectors of the weak and defenders of traditional values. They have been portrayed this way in many movies and books, showing them as honorable rebels fighting against corrupt authorities and rival gangs. But this is far from the truth. The reality is that they are violent criminals who use fear and intimidation to get what they want, including carrying out assassinations, kidnappings, and bombings. And when politicians start working with them, it's a clear sign that things are going wrong in the government. One of the most terrible things they do is participate in human trafficking, kidnapping women and children and forcing them into prostitution or hard labor. They are also involved in illegal drug and weapons trades, often working with international criminal groups to expand their reach. This is a far cry from the honorable image they try to project. Despite these horrible actions, they still manage to hold on to some level of acceptance in Japanese society. They're sometimes seen as a necessary evil, providing services and protection in areas where the government doesn't. However, even this strange blend of crime and respect is being challenged. In recent years, the Japanese government has been cracking down on them with stricter laws and stronger enforcement. As a result, their power and membership have dropped significantly. From a high of 70,000 members in 2011, their numbers fell to just 25,000 in 2022. This decline shows a major shift even among the largest groups. The Yamaguchi group, once very powerful, has seen a clear decline in recent years. The balance between law and disorder seems to be shifting toward law. The COVID-19 pandemic made things harder for them, affecting their legal and illegal businesses due to the economic slowdown. Increased monitoring and restrictions on movement have also made their operations more difficult. However, history shows that they have always been able to adapt. They have bounced back before, and it's likely they will again. As their power weakens, new criminal groups like the Hungara or semi-criminal gangs have started to rise. These groups are more chaotic and violent than the old guard, and don't follow the same ethical code. They commit smaller crimes like theft and assault, making public safety a growing concern. This was not the end of the story. Taioka was also a smart strategist who expanded the group's activities. He fought brutal gang wars to defeat rivals like the Honda Kai. By the mid-1960s, Taioka controlled about 80% of Kobe's shipyard operations and led a network of 343 smaller families. Under his leadership, the Yamaguchi-gumi grew into a powerful and almost unstoppable group. In 2005, Shinobu Tsukasa took over as leader. While Taoka built the organization, Tsukasa has guided it through modern challenges. He is smart and strategic, similar to famous mobsters like John Gotti. However, Tsukasa faced his own problems, including a major split in 2015 when some senior members left to form the Kobe Yamaguchi-gumi. Even with these issues, the Yamaguchi-gumi still holds significant power. Despite internal conflicts and outside pressure, they remain a strong organization. They continue to be involved in extortion, gambling, drug trafficking, and construction. Tsukasa has ensured that they stay an important player in international crime as well. The group has also been involved in charity work during natural disasters, leading people to wonder if this is to win public favor or if they are genuinely trying to do good. Their history is a complex mix of violence, strategy, and occasional acts of kindness, shaping the role they play in Japan's criminal world. They are also known for their strong traditions, which show their deep-rooted culture. One important tradition is the Sakazuki ritual, a serious pledge of loyalty that is similar to a Shinto wedding. In this ceremony, a new member promises full loyalty to the group and its leader by sharing cups of sake. This shows the members' complete commitment to their rules. Another well-known ritual is yubitsume, where a member cuts off part of a finger as punishment for breaking the rules. These traditions show how much is expected from members and the severe consequences for disloyalty. These rituals demonstrate how they mix old traditions with modern crime. What do you think about the balance between cultural preservation and criminal activities within such groups? Like, comment and subscribe for more thought-provoking content.